Hey everyone, so I'm Will, and as mentioned, I'm a meditation teacher, which is a bit of a diversion from my former path, which was to be a rock and roll boy in the music industry. But whilst on the surface it all looked wonderful, you know, out every night having a good time, the reality was it was quite up and down, and most of the ups were artificially induced, and I guess you could say a lot of the downs were too. But I found my way, having gone around the houses and tried all these different things, and eventually I stumbled across meditation, and it made such a big difference for me. And then my Mrs. Jess, she came along and she learned and it turned out to make such a difference for her in so many different ways. So that sparked a bit of an endeavour really to find out more about all of this. And the wisdom that I've learned over the years is we're all in this together. You know, we've all got this biological programming that we're wandering around this little blue planet with. And we're all living this human story and this human drama. And we all of us need to heal some things. And we all of us have this huge impulse to grow and to feel inspired and to inspire others. Some of us are acutely aware of that, and I'm sure everyone in this room is, because you've obviously come to an event like this because it resonates with you somewhere deep inside. And there's a lot of people out there who, they know that deep down, but somehow the crust and crud of life has gotten on top of them, and they are existing, they're surviving. They're in that neurological loop that Rich was talking about, whereby fears and phobias have taken over. And if we can heal our subconscious and heal some of these programs that we've picked up along the way, then it does set us free. We can be limitless. We can go way beyond the boundaries of what we might have been conditioned to think were possible. And the reason why we're all subject to these forces is because we have these brains that have evolved over the millions of years, and survival was such a big thing. You know, we were out there on the savannah. We were exposed to the elements and possibly elephants, maybe woolly mammoths, for example, saber-toothed tigers, all this sort of stuff. And it was in our interest to have this amazing fight or flight capability to run or fight as quickly as we possibly could, override all of our systems, get the hell out of dodge, or beat the opponent, the predator, up and win the day, pass on our genes, so on and so forth. And over the long arc of time, it was those who were most adept at switching this survival response on were the ones who would survive. They had the highest probability of making it. They'd pass their genes on. And over tens of thousands of generations, we became the evolutionary masters of stress. But the problem is, we're still carrying that same functionality with us. But the world has changed so much. We're living these very, very busy lives, all of this technology. You know, we started off, okay, here we go, let's plant a few crops. And then we start specializing, things get more complex, then we get industrial. Then the oil age comes along, then all of this electrification. And now we're bombing around our towns and cities, trying to get here, trying to get there, the endless list of things to do. We're constantly now, in the last 10 or 15 years, we've got these smartphones, we've got Wi-Fi, we're always plugged in. But all this time we're plugging ourselves into this external world, we're taking ourselves away from this internal reality that we've all got. And it's creating so much stimulation within the brain that our survival response is hyperactively firing. It's shutting down our digestion. It's shutting down so many of our key biological functions. It's hyperactivating so many of our things like our heart rate, causing our veins and arteries to constrict. Parts of the immune system spike up. That limbic system that Rich was talking about goes absolutely mental, and instead of being a rational, balanced human being, you become irrational. You can't make good decisions anymore. You lose your humanity. You lose your creativity. And actually, despite what all the city boys think, you lose your ability to execute really well. And now, because this has become a chronic syndrome that everybody is subject to some degree. We're kind of wandering around doing the best that we can. We read the best books that we've ever read, and we feel inspired, and we go out there and we try and put that into action as best we possibly can. But we hit these limits, and most of these limits are within our subconscious. And there are ways and means to access that and purge all of that conditioning, purge all of those barriers, get ourselves into a place of equilibrium. And from there, we can shine. Not just superficially, but from every level of our being. And that is the most powerful way to live your life. Because you can come up with all of these ideas, and you can strive, and you can strive, and you can strive. You can create your mood boards, you can set all of your targets. But if deep inside you don't feel worthy of it, if deep inside there are things holding you back, or you've got these programs which say to you, make as much money as you can, then you will become a rich human being. Or do this, find that one love, then you'll be fully realized as a human being. But actually, it's got to start off within. If you can plug into that deep, deep, deep essence within you, and you do it on a systematic basis, instead of programming all of that fear functioning into your brain, you're programming high-level functioning. You're enhancing everything that you can do. And as a result, the ripple effect into your relationships, into your work life, into your social life, your creativity, the way that you can handle every single demand that comes at you will completely transform. So if I have a message, it's find a way to go there, into that deep place within all of you. Access that. Bring it out day by day, week by week, month by month. Let it flow out of you. Let all of this magnificence be a spontaneous expression of who you really are, because every single one of us in this room is different. We've all got unique gifts, and those gifts matter. Those gifts can uplift all the people that you connect with, and we can teach each other. We can learn from each other. We can listen to each other. When we're not overridden with all of this stress functioning, that means that my brain is thinking about all these other things while so-and-so is telling me this. I'm waiting for my turn to speak. No. Pull that back. Purge it out. Listen. Attend. Connect. Empathize. Intuit. Know. Feel. Read. And then respond. Give. Inspire. And all of this stuff is available to every single human being in the world. And there's loads of ways you can go out there and do it. Simply find the one that's going to work for you. And if you don't succeed first time, try again. Try different meditation techniques. Try different bodywork techniques. Combine them. If they're good, they'll work together in harmony. But don't underestimate the power of going deep within and allowing yourself to reconnect itself. Your body has 60 trillion cells within each and every one of us. Each one of those cells has an amazing amount of intelligence. You combine that, over 60 trillion, huge, huge, huge intelligence. So much more than this little intellect up here. And if we go deep, we rest, we connect, we allow our brains to go into a much higher state of coherence, that intelligence can kick in. And it can start putting things back together again. Like a little Rubik's Cube that's been knotted up with